Thanks for checking out another clip of the Cashflow Contractor. We'd love to have you as a part of our audience. Click subscribe wherever you get your podcast. So, Joe, right out the gate, can you share with us a story about sales failure that is just iconic? That is just, this is what you see all the time, the typical sales failure from a contractor.
Well, definitely. I've been doing, I've been in the construction trade since 1977, both as a remodeling contractor, HVAC, plumbing, electric. I've been in about every kind of a business and construction, including new homes and everything like that as well. And so I would say that my career is like, I've been doing this since 1977. So I'm not even sure how many years that is, but it's it's a lot of years. And, it's probably I would say 24 years was failure, or I was definitely just fitting in with everybody else and not really differentiating myself. And the last 24 years, I definitely have found a way that is a much easier way of doing it, and in that part of it there. So I think one of the biggest things I think one of the biggest mistakes I've seen are classic failures. Right in my book, I have a book called "What Should We Do: How to Win Clients, Double Profits, and Increase your sales, your service sales." So, and I do consider everybody in construction a service business. Even if you're in construction, you're still, the service of managing a project is significant. You guys are keeping all these contractors together, all these timelines and the materials and all this stuff. It's a tough job to manage. And I don't think people see the value. They don't understand the value until they try and do it themselves. So definitely I think that. But the biggest story I could tell you is, right in the beginning of the book, I start with a story in the book about how I swore I was the highest priced contractor that there was, and I prided myself on having one of the highest price. Because here's the thing: I erroneously believed. I believed it because all my clients were telling me that I was a higher price, right? And the information was coming from a source that I didn't really vet the source very well, so I assumed I was the highest price, right? And so I had one of my clients call me who had done business with me before, and she said, "Yeah, remember we did business like 5 years ago. So what can you do for me, Joe?" The question she asked, write this down, everybody. She said, "What can you do for me?" And because of my weaknesses as a child growing up, and my history of, always wanting to buy things for less money, because I was frugal. Let's put it that way. Back in the day, I wasn't. I grew up in a blue collar family, and I prided myself on trying to get the best stuff for the cheapest price. That's what my is like. What could have been my mantra or on my business card, right? And so I assumed that when this woman Mary, she asked me, "What can you do for me, Joe?" And I said, "Well, how about if I drop the price by 25% because you're a loyal customer, and we could do it that way. Plus, I'll throw in the free. I threw in something for free on top of it, right?" And then she said, "Oh, okay. So that's the best you could do?" And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "Okay, well, let me talk to my husband and I'll call you back tomorrow." She says, "Go ahead and get the job. Figure we're going to do the job, but I'll contact you to confirm it tomorrow." Well, tomorrow comes and goes. So I thought in my book, I thought the job was sold. That's how weak I used to be. I used to think, well, yeah, that's done. But let me go ahead and get all the materials ready to go. And I actually started getting everything. I had the workers ready to come in the next day to get started on this thing. It was kind of an urgent project she wanted to get done. And I'm like, "Yeah, this is going to go forward." And all the guys came in, and I said, get all the materials. And then I realized about 9 o'clock, she didn't call. And I'm like, so let me call her. Obviously she didn't answer the phone. And I'm like, what the hell? And then the whole morning went by. I had my workman's comp insurance guy come in and it sucked up my whole morning. And then the guys are sitting there, they come into my office and they go, "Joe, what's going on? We've been here since 8 to 12. We've been here all morning. You haven't told us where to go." And we're like, "Hang on, let me call this woman, Mary." So I called her and she said, "Oh, Joe, I forgot that I should have called you. I went with somebody else who's less money. I hired somebody who's less money." She goes, "Your prices are too high." And I said, "Jesus." I said, "Yeah, I lowered my price by 20. I was already not profitable on this job. I'm giving away all my profit. I was doing it for more of a break even, just to keep the guys busy," which is another lie to do. I saw the lies that hold your business back, right? Yeah. So I tried to do it to keep my guys busy, quote unquote. And then I said, "Well, who's doing the job cheaper?" And she said, "I don't want to get into that." And so I said, "Well, just tell me. I won't, I I already lost the job. It's this other company, called Delmar." And so like, I know that guy. He's one of my best friends at the Contractor Association. And so I'm like, what a jackass. How could he do the job cheaper than that? I mean, I was already stupid for doing it this cheap. And then he lowers the price. And by the way, him and I are the two people at the association always bitching about the other company's prices being less money. Like we were at the bar all the time. He'd have a gin and tonic and I'd have a beer and we'd be talking like, can you believe what the Allied's doing their jobs for or whatever? And so it was like that kind of a thing, right? And then I see him at the bar next week because we're having a meeting. And I said, Ron, what the hell were you doing lowering your price? I just confronted him and I actually got irritated. I started swearing. I said, you're kind of a stupid, I started swearing. I was so, pissed, and he goes,
Yeah.
oh, Joe, what are you talking about? I didn't lower my price. I said, this is back in the 90s, early 90s. Right. And I said, come on, I quoted like 2,500 for that job and I dropped it to 1,800. You went lower than that. And he goes, Joe, I didn't sell it for 1,800 or 2,500. What'd you sell it for? He goes, I got the contract right here in my briefcase. So he opens his briefcase, pulls out a contract for $9,857 for the project.
Whoa.
I'm like, holy shit. But I'm like, I can't believe this. I'm looking at it. He had the check and everything on the proposal. And I'm like, what does this mean? And I was like, just like totally blown away. But when I thought about it, go back to the time when Mary told me, Joe, I've known you for 5 years. We did business together before. What can you do for me? What she was asking me for was more service than I was currently providing. She, I gave her a price on the project she asked me for, but the project she purchased went way beyond what she asked for. And Ron was smart enough to see that there was other things that were needed. And he was smart enough to do those things and take a leap of faith to show people. And really that has replaced my mantra. My mantra used to be trying to find things cheaper for good things for less price. I used to be my mantra before. Now my mantra is, I'm going to always offer more service than people ask me for and let them tell me they want less at that point. The great options. I create premium, mid-range economy choices. The premium choice is way beyond what people ask me for. The economy choice is exactly what they ask me for. And by doing it that way, it's like one of the best life hacks I can tell you. It will differentiate you as a construction contractor. If you had a premium way of doing a deck or a house or windows, a mid-range way and an economy way, and you said, this one has more service and we're more committed to the quality as ourselves on the premium way, and the economy way, you're going to get exactly what you asked us for, just windows, and that's it. You're not going to have any warranty or a very small amount of warranty. So there's things that contractors do unknowingly where they are giving away things for free as a way to give value. And the problem is when you give away things for free, it reduces value. That's what happened to me. I tried to give away stuff for free and even lower the price, right? And she didn't see value. And so that's really the hallmark of what's wrong with most construction companies. They think that the customer's asking them to lower a price. But I even tell people who buy our service here at Service MVP, if they ask me, well, come on, Joe, can you lower the price? That's a lot of money for the coaching. And I'm like, well, this is a lot of commitment for the coaching. And so if you want me to do less, price, I'd have to give you less commitment or less scope of the work. I wouldn't be able to coach all your people, just coach 2 people or whatever. Like, well, why don't you send one person to a seminar? It'd be less money than if we did the whole coaching program, right? So I let them know that I'm not gonna. It's full sticker, no dicker. I don't lower the price anymore ever. And I always say, I'd rather give you more service than lower the price, and that's really it. So if everybody can get their mind just right out of the gate, this story, I hope it helps all the construction, people out there, that when you're tempted to lower your price, start questioning whether your price is too high. You should always say, what can I do to add on a little bit more service or things that differentiate, or things that people need that wouldn't cost any extra really, but people can see value in it. Does that make sense, Khalil?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of use the 2 things come to mind, but one is that saying is more for the same instead of the same for less. And
Exactly.
I'm not always pushing more for the same. Maybe you can do it for what you said. And Khalil and I frequently quote Stella Artois, the beer that is reassuringly expensive. I mean, that's what happened to you. I mean, reassuringly expensive. And people come up and ask, well, how can that guy do it for less? I said, I got no idea. I have no idea what
Right.
he's doing. This is what
Well-
we have to do to take care of you and get you exactly what you want and more. I don't know what that guy's doing.
Thanks for checking out a clip from the Cashflow Contractor. We have full episodes where we go deep on topics that help you grow a construction business that runs without you so you can have less stress, more time, more money. Now, we've got other videos, other clips, but if you want to check out the full episode for this clip, you can click wherever our editor put it. It might be here, might be there, might be over my face, I don't know. But thank you for checking us out. We'd love to have you as a part of our audience. So subscribe or check out a full episode wherever you get podcasts.